morning, good afternoon, good evening. Roughly 4 days ago, first time in known history, the massive ordnance air blast, or affectionately known as the mother of all bombs, was dropped in, I want to say, Pangar, Afghanistan. The total devastation has yet to actually be calculated. I don't know if we'll ever get an actual death count or anything of the nature. What I do know for a fact, that marked the beginning of campaigns you will see in that region, not just conducted by us, but by other militaries. See, right now everybody's being sucked into looking overseas so that way you don't look what's happening right here in your own backyard. Did y'all know last week or the week before, I want to say it was last week, they had two judges get killed in the same week. Black man, black woman. The first one was a black man out of Chicago. Uh, they claim it was a robbery, murder, or whatever. The second one was a lady in New York. Both of them older people in their 60s. Um, um, what I found most disconcerting about either of these cases, and I didn't look into the Chicago man very much. I didn't have to. It told me the story when I seen the New York one. It dawned on me what they need. See, they need to empty these seats for some of these courts because they need people. When I say they, I'm talking about the current administration. They need people who are not only going to see things the way that they see them, but do what they want them to do. Now, I didn't check into the track record of the gentleman in Chicago, but I could only kind of sort of assume just based on just based on how they said the situation played out. Very calm demeanor after hearing gunshots. Didn't retrieve a weapon of his own if he could have or if he had one. Just so many questions in that murder. So many questions. The death of the New York woman just as questionable. But what I'm getting at is that they were both people. The woman is known as a woman to have shown leniency, and one of the subjects that she was known to have shown leniency on was immigrants. Now, you're wondering what does that have to do with Chicago? Well, Chicago has a massive immigrant population as well. Um, if you're gonna start somewhere, you gotta start at the places where they're gonna get the most help. They don't have any help here on the West Coast, so they're not worried about that. You got judges all out, literally all against this man, President Donald Trump, aka D. Treasy, and he's not playing. But the point is this: these judges were killed. You know, people talk about all this numerology. Now, I could care less about that. Just think about the fact that you have two people now where that created a vacuum effect where somebody has to fill that seat. Well, what are the chances that the person filling the seat won't be somebody of the most domineering party in those areas? Well, it's conservative in New York, and it's conservative also in Chicago. So, what are the chances that they might be able to get two conservative judges to fill those spots and then see things differently than those two individuals did? I know you're like, well, what is two people to the game? Well, what happens when another judge dies and another one dies? They've been dying left and right. Nobody is untouchable, unfazable, unfadable. Anybody can get it. Anybody. So with all that said, let's get back to Afghanistan for a quick moment in the region of the world. What I believe in my heart of hearts is going to happen is we're going to see a movement out of nowhere into Syria. I can't say if it's by U.S. forces or whom, but I believe that's going to jump off the fighting over there. Um, I mean, I don't know how stupid people could be to keep saying that China's on America's side now. It, the the greatest trick one of the old school tricks, in war is to make your enemy think that you're allies now, or that that you've gotten past whatever it is that you think you can get past. Um, I heard a guy made a very good point. He said, "Why would President Trump want to go and duke it out with three other countries that are all nuclear powered?" Right. So why wouldn't he back up just a little bit? But then again, with all that said, why wouldn't one of those nuclear powered countries just want to make it seem like they're friendly so that way beating your ass ain't so hard? Just saying. I'm just saying. Don't take it no kind of way. What else am I holding on to? Let's go back to the mother of all bombs for one moment. An 11-ton object. If 11 tons of anything just fell out the sky, that's creating a crater. You understand me? 11 tons of dynamite fall in a specific area. They're claiming that they've killed about 100 already. I think that number's twice that, maybe even triple that. They just don't want to say. Um, it being non-nuclear has it, the only thing that matters is that you won't be radiated. But when your skin is burnt to your body or anything like that, or you're crushed by a large object, debris, whatever they want to call it, or you've been impaled by something. I mean, there's so many different little situations that I could point out that you could become affected by just by being around the explosion, not to mention the concussion. So with all that said, I mean, I just want y'all to think. This is a country where I'm trying to explain to you how we first got into Afghanistan, just in case y'all don't remember the first time I explained it a long time ago. When I explained how everybody got hooked to dope. Hey, I don't know anything. I know I don't. I'm just talking and you're just listening. But please take some of it serious. For those of you who already do, I'm not talking to you. You know that. And you know this. But for those of you who listen repetitiously, seeking to find fault or something wrong, I hope you take a little of this serious. Because it affects you too. So with all that said, and these guys dropping bombs everywhere, total decimation. Ask yourself this: how did the people who the world, this country, really didn't even really know about, unless they were actually alive in the 80s? And even then, people didn't even know about Afghanistan. I want you to understand this: people don't know where Afghanistan is located. Okay, they really don't. If you ask most people, they think Iraq and Afghanistan are right by each other when there's a country in between the both. However, However, that's not important. How we got there was 9/11 happens. We have to go and somebody has to be held accountable. Then we go to Afghanistan. We didn't go to Iraq. Little do people remember. Then we went to Iraq. Then they totally forgot all about Afghanistan. We've been in Afghanistan for what, 16, going on 17 years? And if you count all the little projects they were doing in a place like that, they've probably been there a lot longer than that. But that's the point. If a child was, say, 7 or 8 when it jumped off, he's my age now, 25, 26. He's seen his country become ravaged by these people. Do you think he cares about what your explanation is as to why you're in his country? Once again, while we're here, because we're supposed to be fighting terror. You cannot be what it is that you claim that you are against and think that you're going to be effective at any time. Saying all that, I like to get this off my chest as well. It bothers me deeply, ever so deeply, that it takes visual medium to drive a point home. If I told you a year ago that there are people who lack soul constitution, or people with entire soul constitution, or as much as they can have, or people with the mixture of both, and because there was no pictures to dictate or to stress or to do whatever, didn't get looked at very much or didn't get listened to very much, and it's just one of those things where I have to wonder how much of what the listeners are doing is vain. And I'm not calling anyone vain right now. I'm just saying that how much of what people do is vain. It's a vain thing to look for something when you're listening. Did you hear what I just said? Let me repeat that. It is a vain thing to look for the TV to be on when I'm listening to the music. Sure, I can entertain my visual spectra, but my audio spectra is what I'm using at that moment. So, saying that, you don't need to see me at all because you are listening. You understand that? I have done nothing visually that stresses the point of any of the words that I have said. That right there is what stresses me the most, bothers me the most, boggles my mind. I swear it does. I perform, excuse me, for all those of you who are uptight about all that nonsense. Kills me. A man will tell you one part of the word is the word and then go on to say, well, no, this is the word. And this is what I believe. And this is the white man's version of it. Let me tell you something. I could pick up any part of this word right now. I could be tainted Pauline doctrine. And I will find silver linings in every single one of those dark clouds. Do you understand me? Right. So nobody needs you to tell them that it's a white man's book. They know who mass published the book. But it's not his words. You understand me? Those are not his statutes. Once again, I bow to any one of you to point me out to the white man that follows and has always followed to a T. No, to the capital letter of, not just to one. Every single statute written in that book, the hundreds of commands given to Moses. Right. That's my point. And I just sit here and I wonder at what junction of this entire adventure that we're all on are we going to agree to agree and not agree to disagree? Can we agree that all black is not black, or do I need to constantly compound that some more? Can we agree that everyone does not have a soul? Can we agree that very, very, very dark skin, just like white skin and red skin, are foreign to the planet? So said the pictures of the giants. How could something that is dominant to you take a recessive genetic? Makes no sense. Fallen ones had black skin, red skin, and white skin, and any other color skin you see of beings on this planet that have ever been depicted. Those were the fallen. Man, I cannot stress it enough. I cannot stress it enough. If you don't agree, don't. But the picture says something else. And I don't need a person like you trying to pat me on the back and then trying to shoot me down because the next moment I say something that you don't like. I have a question. This is a real question for any of my Muslim brothers and sisters, and I would love for somebody to break this down to me because I'm a studying type dude. And I never knew this until my brother Dwight Hayes, and he don't even know I picked this up off of him months ago, almost a whole year ago, maybe a whole year ago. And it's been in my mind, burning in my mind for a whole year, brother. Scribe made a video about the cultural identity of the man Muhammad. One of the comments was speaking on Muhammad. Then Brother Dwight Hayes went and said that Muhammad was actually this Abdullah character, you know, or Abdul. I cannot think of the exact the exact name, but it's a variant, right on. And he said that this was the name of the man before he became known as Muhammad. Muhammad is an adopted title. But saying that, right? And then he said the guy that Scribe was speaking on was Mehmet, Mehmet the second. That's cool. That run the history on that. I love it. Teach me, educate me, so that way I know better. My question is which one of those guys is the real Muhammad? Because in the Hadith, the Sahih Bukhari, right on, and then from my understanding, because I've actually researched this, correct me if I'm wrong, the term white does not actually dictate the color of skin. It's a matter of purity, like yellow would be, and black would actually be speaking on an impure thing, right on. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, those who understand the Arabic connotations. Thank you very much. But with that said, and white means pure, why would they say that his armpit is white? Or that his face was white? Right on? After saying his armpit was white. I mean, it just doesn't make you understand what I'm trying to say is like, why would you call his armpit pure? I'm just saying. Just little things like that. We all know what is under your armpit. Just little things like that. And if hold on one moment, and if Abdul is the real Muhammad, then why is Mehmet being spoke on? I'm just asking these questions, y'all, because I need to know. I'm not down on what nobody believes. I'm not knocking the faith. I just have so many questions, and people get so caught up in their emotions that they never answer the questions. They come with rhetoric that has nothing to do with anything. Answer the question. Will the real one please stand up? Is it Mehmet or is it Abdul? And then explain why it's not explained like that. See? Little things like that. Nobody's breaking it down. I need to have it broken down to me. Right on? Right on. With all that said, y'all, let's just go back one more time to what's going on in the Midwest. And if any of you guys still think I'm wrong, bold prediction. I've already said, I've already said, by the end of next month, something's jumping off. You don't believe me? Watch it. You don't believe me? Watch it. We don't get into the middle of June. We do not get 2 months out. We do not get to June 15th and something major has not happened in the Midwest. And I mean major. Not 15 getting shot at the club. Something that's going to shake people, going to touch your soul. The old man getting killed on Facebook Live, that's not enough. Black on black, they don't care about that. They really don't. They really don't. Let me tell y'all something. What's coming? What's coming for these people and what's coming for them, the force that's coming for them is not one that they can stand up against. But that's okay though, because they'll find out. You, my friends, I'm not going to tell you to arm yourselves or any of that. I'm going to tell you to stay out the way. And for those of you who know better and know that in a situation where you just have to protect yourself, when they persecute you in one city, flee ye to another. Please and thank you. For those of you who think your garments are so nice, you need to get rid of some of those if you do not have the sword and get one. This will be my last time telling y'all that. My last time ever speaking on being prepared like that. And that little moment, that's all you're gonna get. I just don't, doesn't matter to me. If you truly say you follow the Most High, then some of these things should be on your heart all the time, in your mind all the time. And even if you didn't know, you would ask the questions to show brothers and sisters that this is on your mind and your heart. I don't mean to take up your time. I really don't. I really don't. We all know what this is going to be. All right. I'm waiting for y'all to congeal with each other, not just with me. Google plus each other, whatever y'all got to do, and figure out when y'all want me to actually do something. And I will do a little live stream. It'll be 10, 15 of us, and we will have a good old time. I promise. I promise. And I'm not like these guys that you look at and they want to try to run the conversation. You throw out a subject, we will speak on that subject until we feel like it's been exhausted. Then we'll exhaust another subject and we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going. I thank you guys for listening. I don't mean to waste your time or to take any of your precious life energy. I do not, and not at all. Nor do I mean to offend anyone once again. But what I do mean to do is to tell the truth. And if offense is rendered in that, then I have no apologies. But other than that, y'all have a blessed day. Oh, blessed day. And may the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be with us all.